when I open the tubs on these guys. I can't actually believe I made these. These are just superb. Hi guys, it's Rob from Royal Balls. I do have quite a few videos that are in the process of being edited. Some of the genetics videos take a little bit of editing, but they are coming. So in the meantime, one question that I'm frequently asked is, how do snakes age? What do they look like when they're adults versus what they look like when they're young? And I do have quite a few snakes that I've held back over the last couple of years, and I thought we'd do a comparison between what they looked like when they were babies and what they look like now. So let's look at a few snakes. Let's take a look at this guy, now coming up to about a year old. This is my Mojave spot nose vanilla yellow belly male, and you can see what he looks like now after a year. The photo up on the side shows what he looked like as a hatchling. So yes, he has lost some of that brightness, but he's taken on a colour palette which is equally spectacular. He still has the orange sides. You can see the rear still has nice bright oranges there. The dorsal stripe on this guy is continuous and unbroken. So this is the Mojave spot nose vanilla yellow belly male. And here's his sister from the same clutch, again about a year old, probably around 800 grams. I haven't really weighed them, but this is spot nose yellow belly. When she hatched out, she was extremely bright, and you can see that she still is extremely bright. And look at that awesome classic spot nose head stamp. Just amazing head stamp on spot noses. So this is a female spot nose yellow belly. This guy here is a banana warmer. You can see the almost spider-like pattern, but the head stamp is quite different. You see the indents around the eyes on the head stamp. That's characteristic of warmer. So this is banana warmer, and he is also over 1 year old. You can see father was extremely clean without very many spots, and you can see how clean this guy has stayed as well. No spots hardly at all on this fella too. So banana warmer. And banana pastel enchi. Let's see if we can get a look at the head stamp on this guy. You can see the classic butterfly head stamp on this guy, and the widening eye stripe around the ears signifying enchi. A much more banded pattern than the warmer, and this guy is also pastel. Again, very clean, very few freckles like his father. So this is banana pastel enchi. And this is the very bright Gene X pied, again from ARP Constrictors. This is just a straight pied as far as we know. The original stock came from Justin Kabelka, so the brightness is somewhat of a surprise, and we think possibly Gene X has crept into the combination. You can see from the head stamp here that it is Leopard also, so this is a Leopard pied, possible Gene X, and we're pairing him this year to see what pops out from anything that he produces. But you can see the orange saddle at the rear is still very orange, very bright. What a stunning pied this guy is. So this is the Bumblebee calico that I picked up from ARP Constrictors in 2019. She is now around about 2 years old. Not one of my quickest growers. She's nowhere near up to size for breeding yet, and she did take a break from feeding for several months when she got to around 12 or 1300 grams. But she's back eating again now, and let's just take a look at this fantastic example of a Bumblebee calico. You can see that she's lost none of her white sides. The dorsal has started to colour up a little bit and get a little bit wider, but she is still extremely clean and bright. So when I look at this animal, this is not just a snake, this is not just a production line breeding machine. This represents a line of Bumblebee calicos that has been 15 years in the making. Around about 15 years ago, ARP imported the flora and fauna line of calico and has been working with that line ever since and improving it. And this line of Bumblebee calico is a speciality of ARP, representing years of careful selection and line breeding to enhance the qualities of the snake. So this is the end product of 12 to 15 years of breeding. This snake represents a heritage, a legacy of ARP constrictors, and in order to do her justice, when I breed her, she will have to be paired to something that improves upon what is already a fantastic lineage. So this snake represents to me more than just a snake. This represents what the hobby is all about, and this snake represents all those years of effort and hard work. This is not just a snake, this is not just an investment, this is the hobby. This is what we do. This is my Leopard Champagne boy. You can see that he is absolutely hyper, does not relax for a second, and he will strike at me if I make a sudden move here. You can see how tense his body is. But again, the comparison with the photo showing what he looked like as a hatchling and what he looks like now, the leopard pattern in Champagne is simply awesome, and he's lost none of that pattern. If I can just show you the dorsal stripe without being bitten. There you go. This guy is very, very tense, and you can see the head stamp with that funny white nose on him there. So this is Leopard Champagne. And these two animals here are the two runts that I picked up from ARP. He told me that if I could get them to survive, I could keep them. This one was born or hatched at 33 grams and this one at 44 grams. They're both now over a year old, both extremely good eaters, and you can see how well they're doing. Obviously not as big as their counterparts, they had some catching up to do, but both very healthy, and they'll both join the breeding team as soon as I can use them. This guy is already up to size. This girl here, the female, will take a little bit longer to get up to size. But you can see that never give up on these baby snakes. This female here took 2 months to shed out of her baby skin. She was kept on wet paper towel for 2 months and assist fed until she shed and started eating by herself. So never give up, guys. These two are doing extremely well. Okay, let's take a look at another very significant snake in my collection. This is a single enchi clown. Very, very reduced. Comes from a line of clown that ARP has produced, and is a carbon copy of Dad. And the offspring in this line of clowns are all extremely reduced. Many people have looked at this snake and said this is super enchi, or if we take a look at the head stamp, you can see the dots by the side of the eyes, which people say is blade. There is no blade in this collection. This is a straight enchi clown. So the trait, rather than the gene, is actually reproducible, but not systematically. It tends to be quite irregular. So I have this male in my collection to use him in my reduced line of enchi clowns, making the best use of whatever characteristics you have in the snakes that you own when you pair them up to get the best end result. So this is my reduced enchi clown male, and this is what he looks like now. This is another clown that just popped out of the collection at ARP Constrictors and looks very, very unusual. Some of the characteristics are like fire. The head stamp is very similar to fire. The pattern is very similar to fire, but the contrast and the darkness of this snake are not the same as fire. So we've called this female the X-Clown. She's coming up to breeder size. She's been off food for a little while, but she's not being paired. She's not being bred until next season. But this is the X-Clown. This is what she looks like now. She still looks quite distinctive and very, very different to a normal clown. So this is the X-Clown girl, and we can't wait to see whether this is genetic and what pops out of this snake when we pair her up. Let's take a look at this guy. This is the Pastave Enchi Vanilla Het for Clown male. Again, I have not used him yet this season, but I wanted this guy so that I can get Mojave into my clown collection, and this is just so that you guys can get a look at what he looks like now he's over a year old, to compare to what he looked like as a hatchling. This guy will be put to work next season. I do need to work on Mojave into my clown collection, so still a useful addition to the collection. This is what he looks like now. This girl here is my vanilla yellow belly Het for Clown, and I won't take her out of the tub because she is being paired this season, and I'm hoping that she's going to ovulate fairly soon, so I don't want to disturb her. I do want to show you the head stamp. You can see the classic yellow belly dot on the head there with the light coloured vanilla influence, and this girl is a really, really nice colour. You can see the vanilla has strengthened and brightened the dorsal, and yellow belly gives all these fantastic flames up the side here. So this is a fantastic combination. She's been paired to a fire clown male this year to try and make vanilla creams. Vanilla cream with yellow belly, that would be very nice. So hopefully this girl will give me a clutch of eggs. This is vanilla yellow belly Het for Clown. This girl here is cinnamon enchi with Mojave in her as well, so she has got some of the cinnamon Mojave or Savannah extensions to the alien heads, but you can see that the enchi distorts the pattern massively, and this is an allelic combination. Enchi and cinnamon are very unlikely allelic partners, and this is my female that I held back. So she should produce no normals. She will either produce enchi or cinnamon in her offspring. Look at some of the fantastic yellow coloration around the alien heads here, and a gorgeous head. That lovely light colour from the cinnamon enchi combination is absolutely stunning. So this is cinnamon enchi Mojave. Firefly and Superfly Het Lavenders. This is a male. This is a female. These guys are just over a year old, and you can see that they've kept their brightness and their colour because of the het lavender in them. They are only pos het, but I'm almost positive that they will prove out to be lavender given how bright that they're staying. So this is Firefly het lavender, and this is Superfly het lavender. Let me just see if I can show you the head stamp of the Superfly, so you can see the 2 doses of pastel in the head stamp on this guy, as opposed to just the single pastel in the girl. So there we go, Firefly and Superfly het lavender. Okay guys, the video is a little bit long because I do have quite a collection of snakes, and some of them are in sheds, so we'll have to save that until the next episode. So we'll do this in 2 parts. It's a bit long anyway, so that's the first part. I hope you enjoyed looking at those snakes. There'll be a follow-on video with the second part. In the meantime, don't forget to share, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.